Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I can't help but noticing that sometimes the United States of America seem to ignore certain events because if they say they ignore it, uh, because I think they can't control them. And since they happened, instead of showing that, hey, we dropped the ball here, they rather say, well, unimportant anyway, even though the event that occurred is important. And I'm going to give you one very clear example: the relations between China and Russia. They started more than 15 years ago to grow and grow. And the Americans were like, just two losers. That's how we are told. And yeah, they were losers, according to these guys, our leaders, the ones that they are in charge of us. And little by little, they lost the situation. They lost control. The weasels grew. Their connection increased. Got the ties got tougher, stronger. They conducted all kind of military drills here and there. Their economies, are making the industries and all the sectors of the economies are communicating, doing what they do best, trade, and then they build pipelines between the two countries, so resources flow in one direction, and the other guys invest and so on. But the Americans were saying, nothing to see here. Now we have another example. I think that again, these guys are just, I don't know. They are too arrogant, thinking that we're still there. These guys are just losers. But it's growing, and once it grows, it's going to be harder to control it as they always want. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about these two countries here. We have Brazil and Iran. I know some people might think, Brazil, Iran, the same as they said 15 years ago about Russia and China. But you see, the fact that Brazil, according to this article, allows Iranian ships, military ships, mind you, to dock amid U.S. concerns over Panama Canal. What is going on here? The Iranian Navy docks warships in Brazil in preparation for moving toward the Panama Canal as U.S. worriedly scrambles for solution. Now? They're already there. You couldn't prevent it. You couldn't, no, it's too late. So what are they going to do? Close the canal? Probably. Is that legal? No, but who cares, right? So this comes from Al Mayadin, and here we have it. The Iranians dare to move their navy. I say dare from the Americans' standpoint. Dare to bring in the Western Hemisphere. Yes, they do this. How did they get this far? Well, since you have 1,329 ships in the Red Sea and in the Gulf and all that, what did you expect? Well, anyway, so the United States is closely monitoring Iran's activity in the Panama Canal. Now, after Tehran said its navy would station vessels in the waterway earlier in January. Station vessels, more than one. You say, well, what, two rowboats and one engine boat? Whatever, man. Whatever, again, just discard these kind of things, and then when you realize that, hey, actually there's this and that, it's going to be too late. And surprisingly is Brazil doing this. Brazil is not something that you can just ignore, Iran either, but anyway, they tend to do this, these guys here. U.S. State Department spokesperson Ned Price told the Washington Free Bacon Beacon on Friday. Bacon, okay, that's a good one. Washington is monitoring Iran's attempts to have a military presence in the Western Hemisphere, end quote, Price said. This comes after documents published by the Brazilian Navy earlier in the week said that two Iranian warships, including one equipped with, and I'm quoting, anti-ship cruise missiles, torpedoes, and naval cannons, were granted permission to dock in Brazil. So it's not a rowboat or a one-engine fishing boat, okay? It's not that. It's an anti-ship cruise missiles. You can say, well, again, torpedoes. Second World War torpedoes, kind of. Naval cannons, like what? You know what I mean? Look at this the same way, and things grow, improve, develop. The commander of Iran's navy, Rear Admiral Shahram Irani, said earlier in January that Iranian forces would establish a presence in the Panama Canal later this year, marking the first time Iran's military has reached the Pacific Ocean. Hmm. How did they get to this point? Because these guys was like, Iran, Anyway, I'm quoting, "We are aware of these claims by Iran's navy," end quote, Price said, and I'm quoting again. "We continue to monitor Iran's attempts to have a military presence in the Western Hemisphere," end quote. However, he declined to give insight regarding any potential actions that the Biden administration might take regarding the issue, not Washington states on Iran's growing military influence in Latin America was asked by the Washington Free Bacon. Beacon. Anyway, an American national security analyst whose main focus is Latin America issues, Center for the Secure Free Society. I like this weasel euphemistic names. Secure Free Society. What can go wrong? I mean, you gotta be with it. You gotta support, secure, yes, safe, free, yes, you like free stuff, right? Regardless if it's a free beating or not. And society, of course, inclusive. Yes, we like that. What kind of society I would like to ask. All these things secure for whom? If you're secure, that means you have an enemy. Who's the enemy? Executive Director Joseph Humire said that Biden administration had an opportunity to sanction Iran's networks in Latin America. Again, this is the American past 30 years ways of dealing diplomatically with other states. And I always tell you about the 4 tools the United States diplomacy has in its little toolbox that they carry nowadays. They don't have, intelligence, geopolitics, charm, give and take. No, that's done with that, negotiation. They are having the 4 ones, and I'm going to mention them again. 1, threats, blackmail, regime change, and the last one is straight invasion if you don't respect or you violate human rights and, a lot of things like this, then we'll find something. So, yeah, that's the new diplomatic and fantastic way of dealing with other people. The same. This guy looks at what? Sanctions. Not discussions as equals or anything like, no, sanctions. Like you speak with a child. How do you train a child? Like you train, other entities. Punishment and rewards, right? Reward and punishment. You do this, I'm going to punish you. I punish you with that. Oh, you don't do that, I will reward you with this. Okay. But these guys are not, rewarding is here, we're not going to punch you in the face kind of diplomacy here. But anyway, let's go further and see what these guys are saying. So again, the opportunity to sanction Iran's networks. The Iranian warships ported in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, are about 1 to 2 weeks away or more from entering the canal zone, giving the Biden administration time to leverage and enforce U.S. sanctions. I thought it was secure free society. Sanctions doesn't go with free, my friends. And secure, again, who's who, what's what, end quote. The expert, I want to see his face. And I'm quoting again. Integrated deterrence, which is the defense posture of the Biden administration, requires integration across the spectrum of conflict to prevent competitors from altering the status quo in ways that harm U.S. vital interests. Yeah, so everything is about power, which I'm okay with that because I don't like weasel talk. When I talk about weasel talk, is, oh, we're partners. Yes, we're allies. No, it's each country for itself. That's how it is in reality. Everything is dictated by self-interest. It's not, oh my God, we're together. Yeah, we're together because we have the same interest here that coincides for both of us. But once that interest wanes away, I'm going to punch you in the face and get your money. That's how it works in the world. But no, we're a law-abiding, law community, global, all this BS, international law, and it's a rule-based world order, Okay, well, world order. This comes as Iran has been cementing ties with Latin American countries, most notably Venezuela, in recent years, within the framework of the country's development roadmap. Iranian ships have docked in Venezuela more regularly as the two countries share a similar history of enduring excruciating sanctions by the US and its allies. Whistle talk right here, alert. Whistle, whistle, whistle. Excruciating sanctions, US and its allies. The allies do what US want them to do. United States does not do what the allies want. So there's not an alliance, okay? it's a very clear, you know, relationship between a boss and a subordinate. Now, Hamwire, or Humir, Hamwire, the expert, previously argued that Iran had been planning for this type of voyage by holding joint exercises with allies such as Russia and China. Okay, both of which have been cementing their ties with Latin American countries. And Brazil is in BRICS. Remember the developing economies? BRICS: Brazil, India, China, South Africa, and Russia. Remember Olaf Scholz, the German chancellor, went to South America a day or two ago and didn't get anything but a kick in his butt, trying to get Chile, Argentina, and Brazil send this and that to Ukraine and ask for other little favors, and he got a flick in his nose. So yeah, they're working very nice. So this is, again, they lost things from their control. They're out. The same with Brazil and China and Russia. They lost that. Now they're going to lose South America, Latin America, and they're going to use Africa. They're going to be the 20 weasel countries in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea, and Canada. My bad. They would be together with the United States, and they will form this little. They will form. They have already this little group. Not group. It's a plantation with one owner. I've said this many times. So, as Iran is planning to establish a presence in the U.S. backyard, the Islamic Republic is taking steps to shut down the Straits of Hormuz, which often sees the United States scrapping with Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps. Well, we know how that is. I can be in your neighborhood, you can't be in mine. Why? Because I'm stronger. And Iran will not close the Strait of Hormuz because they're going to be bombarded the minute they do that. So they know that. I just threaten. The guy says, yeah, I dare you. Just give me a reason to, come to you. So I'm already there anyway. This is just ready to push a few buttons and make a few phone calls, or like this, the old style. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, but they're losing control. They are losing control. South America, Africa, I would say parts of East Asia. I mean, only if you get China, even if you take Indochina with Vietnam over there. And not only that, there are some countries that are waiting for the second club to really do like this and then say bye-bye, bye-bye, first club. They're going to just break out of the plantation. Anyway, run on a different plantation because maybe it's going to be good for a while because that's the way it is, like in a marriage. Hey, I found you. Everything is hanky-panky for a few years, and then you get back to where you were with the other relationship. I hope not. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.